Namaste. This is the 6th video in the series on Brahmacharya for the womb. In this video, I'm going to share why is addiction to titilation even happening and why is lust not good for you, although it's kind of obvious also some of that, but there's still some really interesting points there for both men and women that I'll be sharing. The third thing is, what is actual sexual energy cultivation for, and what does it look like when it is enabled for divine worship within each person. Okay, so the reason why people are addicted to titilation these days is because of these 4 reasons. The first one is because of porn. There's a lot of porn. It's very easily accessible on media, social media content, also online on the websites. And the thing about it is that because of watching a lot of this, people, especially men, are not able to get aroused by normal, natural sex and a natural woman anymore. They're not able to feel sexual arousal to a regular person. The normal woman has a lot of qualities within her, such as wisdom, such as vidya, which pornography does not at all illuminate. For sustainable sexual intimacy, that quality, that wisdom, that is applied knowledge of Devi coming into a woman as wisdom, as vidya, is really, really important for that sexual intimacy to sustain. Otherwise, porn becomes the way that people choose and get titillated by. The second thing is kinks and fetishes. So a lot of people choose to experiment with the kinks and fetishes. However, the issue with this is when you end up going on that path, the sexual arousal becomes dependent on that kink or that fetish. You no longer feel like having sex in a natural way. So that's the problem. The third thing is a spiritual fetish. So a lot of women do this, that they start creating stories of the one romantic person, the Prince Charming, that is going to come into their life. And this ends, a lot of men also do this, so this ends up distracting the person from their dharma. And it really gets in the way of dharma. When you're walking the path of dharma, then when you start realizing it, then you will automatically meet people on the way who are also doing that. And from among them, when you are ready, you will get the blessings from Devi to find the person within you. When you yourself become that spiritually elevated person within you, without the spiritual fetish, without fantasies of Prince Charming, then whatever is in your karma, that you will receive from Devi. Okay, the fourth one is the most interesting, I think. In the Kali-yuga times, sex has become a very selfish thing. Okay, people having sex just for pleasing themselves, and that's not what sex is for. Sex is for immortality, it's for divine worship, it is a collaboration with God, it is a relationship with God, and not with your own selfish needs. It's also for healing and building your energy. So that is what you can consider it as a valuable way of perceiving sexual intimacy. Now, why do people have lust, and why is lust not good for you? When you lust over someone just by looking into their features, then you invalidate the person, and this means that you don't see beyond their physical appearance at all. Moreover, what's even more important is for you to have a common goal with this person, so that you are both working on something together. This is what makes the relationship sustainable and worthwhile, which is in this today's world of fast food and fast clothes and fast everything and fast relationships. This is something really important for us all to note, that you need to have a common goal. That's what makes it worthwhile and sustainable, and that's something that you should keep in mind. A lot of people suffer from lust, and when they experience this, they assume that the other person is also feeling this about them, whereas it is mostly just in their own imagination. Okay, and so you need to let go of this, that is one-sided. And when it's one-sided, as I've said in my previous videos, it is a sexual disturbance. It's not sexual intimacy, and it's not consensual. So once you realize this, you can immediately detach yourself from these kinds of thoughts, whether you're a man or a woman. The third thing is that a lot of people feel that when they feel stressed, they get their sexual urges. But actually the case is that they already are getting sexual urge and they don't know how to resolve that. That's where the stress is coming from. So it's not stress first and sexual urge later, but sexual urge first, and the inability to solve that is leading to stress. Okay, but this playlist is all about what sexual urges are. I've already made a video on this, so please go and watch that. It's part of the playlist. Sex is supposed to help you build energy, and so it's really ironic that people are losing energy over sexual thoughts. If you really want to understand how our ancestors who were warriors, our Veera ancestors, perceived sexuality, then you should read the Puranas. Read the Puranas and see how they do it, how it is important to be a warrior. No matter what happens in your life, no matter what misfortune or mishap happens, if you whatever you choose, like you want to sail that boat instead of sinking, it's your choice. Okay, and that's what Brahmacharya cultivates in you, the qualities of a Virya, because it builds Virya in you and cultivates the qualities of a Veera or a warrior. So people who are Brahmacharis, they don't spend time criticizing or complaining because they are focused on achieving things, and it is only through achievement, natural achievement, do they allow themselves to feel serotonin. So they don't chase cheap serotonin by criticizing someone else, okay, and complaining about someone else. There's no point in doing that. Only when you start having feelings that you're not achieving, that a human being tends to do this, because the brain still wants to have serotonin to feel good about themselves and their life. So that's the natural path it takes, but the better path is to achieve something of value, to cultivate gratitude in the hearts of people, to feel gratitude yourself first for the things that you have, for the things that Devi has blessed you with. So that's the warrior part, taking responsibility for the good and the bad in your life. Yeah, so that's what it is. That's the secret, and you should watch the rest of the playlist to understand what else Brahmacharya is about. Another important thing is that there is a misconception that you cannot have a sexual life and have productivity. Okay, this seems to be, people think they are two different circles, they don't meet. But where they actually meet is when you have no titilation and you have a sexual life, then you are able to also be productive, because a Veera or a Brahmachari feels that productivity is sexy. It's not unsexy to be productive, and being titillated is unsexy. Okay, this is a clear demarker of what it means to be a Brahmachari. Now, those who want to learn about and experience the energy of Brahmacharis and to feel that in themselves by learning about the basics in person, where they'll be receiving the knowledge from the Sahasrara about the basic concepts and everything that a Brahmachari does, how they abandon their ego, how they come from their heart and make choices from their heart, because there is a good flow of energy between their womb, the brain, passing through the heart. There's a lot to learn, and each person should have the energy self-reliance. Okay, so if anyone wants to know what this is about, get a basic introduction about the retreat, then click the link in the video description below. The page which has all the details about the dates and the location. Okay, alright, so see you at the retreat. Those who want to actively take charge of not feeling like they are sexually incompetent, or if they are overly sexual and overly sexually expressive, like if they are a nymphomaniac, then how to deal with that as well. Okay, you will realize how to have a balance and to live a life of productivity that adds value to society, no matter which end of the spectrum you are on, asexual or nymphomaniac. Okay, so that's all. Click in the link below if you are interested to start this journey. Thanks for watching. See you in the next video. Jai Devi, Jai Shri Ram.